right now on 5 on your side at 10.
A storm is brewing. The complicated forecast that could have us dodging raindrops or worse heading into the weekend.
Campus chaos in the Midwest amid tensions in the Middle East.
Students have continuously faced oppression on this university.
Tonight, the tough consequences for some Washington University students. Our top story, a young boy's life changed in an instant by a reckless driver.
I had to watch my baby stuck between two cars for 27 minutes.
Tonight, his mother is reliving the horrific moments and demanding answers.
I just want him to come out of it.
Tonight, 9-year-old Cody Walker remains in the ICU on life support following Sunday's crash at a North City park. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. For the first time, we're hearing from the child's mother and stepfather. Just hours ago, they spoke only to 5 on your side's Robert Townsend. He is live outside St. Louis Children's Hospital, where Cody is fighting for his life. Robert.
Mike, Cody Walker underwent surgery Sunday. Tonight he is still holding on here at this hospital, and that's enough for his heartbroken family. It was supposed to be a fun day at Hickey Park for 9-year-old Cody Walker, his twin brother Corey, their 3 siblings, and their mom. But Antoinette Jackson says she and her kids were at the North St. Louis Park for 10 minutes when their day suddenly took a tragic turn.
He should have been able to go to that park, have fun with his brothers. I know he was so scared.
Witnesses told police Kevin Johnson sped down North Broadway and a truck slammed into the back of Jackson's van and pinned her son between the 2 vehicles.
I just want him to know that what he did was wrong.
Cody was trying to get a soccer and basketball out of their trunk at the time.
It's really been tough because not only did I have to see my son that way, his siblings had to see him that way. His twin brother said, my brother.
Cody is a straight-A 3rd grader at Oak Hill Elementary School. His mom says he loves people and Spider-Man. His lungs are now swollen and he cannot move his left arm as a result of the crash.
He got 3 bones broke by his spine. They don't know if he's going to be paralyzed or not. His right leg is fractured.
According to dispatch logs, it took nearly 30 minutes for emergency responders with the St. Louis Fire Department to remove the child's body from the wreck. About 4 minutes later, they took Cody to a hospital.
So many people called them and it still took them so long. I think they should have better response time.
Meanwhile, Wednesday morning, Cody opened his eyes for the first time, giving his family hope.
I'm just hoping he come out of this. That's all. Just come out of this.
He's fighting.
Captain Garen Mosby with the St. Louis Fire Department tells us their emergency responders worked diligently and methodically to safely free the little boy from that car crash. Meantime, Cody's mom remains here at the hospital by his bedside. Live near the Central West End, I'm Robert Townsend. 5 on your side.
Tonight, growing tensions on college campuses across the country. Pro-Palestinian protesters are demonstrating over the ongoing conflict in Gaza. They're demanding these institutions divest from companies that do business with Israel. Tonight, we're hearing from 2 Washington University students arrested after taking part in what they call a sit-in during a university event for potential students.
We're told a dozen people were arrested. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is live with how the university is responding.
Well, the 2 students you're about to hear from tell me they're not only arrested, they're also suspended and banned from the campus. But they say that's not stopping them from fighting for what they believe in. When the Student Government Association at Washington University voted to ask the university to cut ties with Boeing, students say administrators gave them the runaround.
The bombs and aircraft that they manufacture get sent over to Israel.
So on April 13th, students disrupted an event at the university chapel to make a point.
This is an event where WashU is bringing admitted students here to sell them on WashU, because these students have been admitted to other places.
In front of some 500 people, R.J. Lucas took the mic.
This event has been shut down by a group of students and St. Louis community members in support of Palestine.
From the balcony, we have people essentially unfurl a banner that actually ends up covering the projector, and we all get up and we're chanting. We march our way to the stage.
Soon, police arrive arresting a dozen people, including these 2 students who are now suspended from campus. WashU says it can't comment on student conduct, but pointed us to its policy on demonstrations, which says in part, the rights to free speech, assembly, and expression in the university are subject to reasonable restrictions regarding time, place, and manner, applied without discrimination toward the content of the viewpoints being expressed. These rights do not include the right to engage in unlawful activity or any activity that disrupts or obstructs the functions of the university.
Their student conduct processes are wielded as a weapon to sow fear and intimidation in their students to ensure that they remain silent.
I'm told a group of students and other people from the community are planning a march here on Saturday, and they're keeping folks updated on the Instagram page called resist.washu. Live in St. Louis tonight, Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
The city of Maplewood is cracking down on hate crimes in the wake of an anti-Semitic attack against a family. The city council approved an ordinance raising the minimum fine to $500, with a maximum fine of $1,000. It also adds stealing to the list of hate crimes. The change comes after an Israeli flag was stolen and vandalized at a Jewish family's home several times. Maplewood police are investigating.
Tonight, an FBI investigation has ruled a young black man found shot to death at a rural Missouri home died by suicide. Tomorrow marks 3 years since Durante Martin was found shot at a prom party in Fredericktown. It was initially ruled a suicide, but his family insisted it was murder. There were also questions about the homeowner's history of racist social media posts. The FBI got involved after a jury in a coroner's inquest determined he died by violence. The feds found Martin had meth in his body at the time, which may have made the 19-year-old paranoid. There was also a witness to the suicide.
Tonight we're hearing from investigators in St. Clair County after a former teacher accused of leaving a student for dead was released from prison. Sam Shelton was released on parole this week after serving 17 years of a 20-year sentence. Investigators say the former Freeburg High School teacher admitted to strangling 17-year-old Ashley Reeves. Nearly 30 hours later, believing she was dead, Shelton confessed to the killing and led police to her body in the woods at Citizens Park in Belleville.
When our guys came out, they believed that they were doing a recovery mission to recover her body. Once they recalled seeing her body, and it's all on video, you can recall them shouting, saying she's still breathing, and get medics in here.
5 on your side spoke to the victim on the phone. She says she is focused on moving forward and forgetting the past. Shelton will serve 3 years probation.
Tonight, a Missouri bill aimed at barring Medicaid funding from Planned Parenthood is on Governor Mike Parson's desk.
New tonight, Laura Barcheski talked with representatives on both sides of the issue just hours after the bill passed. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, the House vote to pass this bill today pretty much fell along party lines, with a little over 100 Republican legislators voting yes, 50 Democrats voting no. Now it's up to the governor, but there still could be legal challenges.
State Representative Cody Smith says Missouri House Bill 2634 will prohibit taxpayer dollars primarily in the Medicaid program from going toward organizations that perform abortions and their affiliates like Planned Parenthood, which is a national organization.
We know that if we are subsidizing or doing business with Planned Parenthood as a state, we potentially could ultimately be subsidizing those abortion services outside of the state.
Representative Deb Lavender says there's really no point to this legislation, as a federal measure called the Hyde Amendment already bans the use of federal Medicaid funds to cover abortion. However, it doesn't limit the state's ability to use its own funds to cover abortions.
So once again, women will be on the short end of health care in Missouri. We don't already do a good job for our people of color. Their maternal mortality is so much higher than those of us who are white. And so we're just further eroding healthcare opportunities for women in this state.
Representative Brad Hudson, who co-sponsored the legislation, says they expect it will be challenged because it was struck down by the Supreme Court both times it was included as part of the budget and appropriations.
And we understand that anytime we do something big like this, there is the possibility for a court challenge, and that has been taken into consideration when the legislation was crafted.
So what's this mean for a ballot measure seeking to end the ban on abortions? Maggie Olivia with Abortion Action Missouri says the proposed amendment would only guarantee access to abortion and reproductive health care.
But there is no language in this amendment about like Medicaid or payments or anything like that. This is an attack on the people of Missouri and the services that they rely on to survive, whether that be preventative care like cancer screenings, STI testing and treatment, birth control access.
If signed into law and it's not struck down in the courts, the funding ban would go into effect in late August.
New life tonight for the former Little Sisters of the Poor nursing home property in North St. Louis. The new Peter and Paul Community Campus promises to be the largest homeless services space in the city. It will include 100 shelter beds and provide other services. The organization says this will nearly double its outreach, currently housed in the basement of the Saints Peter and Paul Catholic Church in Soulard.
Tonight, a St. Charles County family is out of their home after it was destroyed by fire. Firefighters believe the fire was sparked by lightning. The home on Morrison Lane in New Melly caught fire during yesterday's storms.
Sometimes Mother Nature can be a little devastating, and a little violent. The chimney had actually been, more or less the top of it had exploded and the bricks were laying in the front yard on our arrival. So that was an indication that possibly it had been struck by lightning.
No one was home at the time. Firefighters were able to rescue a dog who got trapped when the ceiling collapsed.
More lightning and thunder is expected at times from Friday into Sunday night. And there is a severe weather threat potentially. Right now, we're working on fine-tuning what threats we may have to deal with.
A lot of you might have pets, but still might be struggling to make ends meet. I'm Michelle Lee with a quick fix on ways to keep your pets healthy while saving money.
They're back. Creepy crawlers making their loud entrance as they emerge from the underground.
It sounds like 100 chainsaws being used at the same time.
Tonight, the buzz from police about cicada calls bugging 911 operators.